So, friends, we are re-recording our class, Photography and Branding, why you need them and how they help give your business an identity. My name is Maren. I own Buckin Good Media. I have been a photographer for over 15 years. I have quickly learned how important branding is, especially with social media. And if it weren't for the lovely lady to my left here, my business would not be what it is today, literally. So, Amber.
Hello, I am Amber. I own ALT Art and Design. I'm a graphic designer specializing in brands and logos, and I cater to the equestrian entrepreneur. My business is just over a year old, and I'm really loving being a part of this community. We will talk about why it's important to put yourself in a niche as far as me choosing to market to equestrians. I'm an equestrian, Maren's an equestrian. That's just what we love, and that's how we can produce things in a more exciting way because we're so passionate about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very. So I guess a little bit about me. Well, I just did a whole rebrand on my business, thanks to Amber helping me. Well, she created this amazing logo. This is my third photography business. My first one was Maren Photography. My second one was Butler Photo. And I just kind of realized I needed something that was me as a business, which kind of leads us into what does branding mean to us? And for me, branding means, people know it's you. People know your brand. People know your style. You have your personality in there, and that's essentially what branding is. If you have employees, your employees are your brand. Everything is like, you're kind of like it's like a different type of a family, I guess. Branding of a company is its people and what it encompasses and everything like that. So to me, that's what branding means. And I know Amber has some really good points about that, so I'll let her take that away as well.
Yeah, so my favorite quote is from Paul Rand, and it is, your logo is the silent ambassador of your brand. So I like to say that branding is an ambassador of your business. It tells your story, it gives your business an identity, it's unique to you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just about your business. It can be about you as a person. And you don't want it to look like everyone else because you're not like everyone else. No business is the same, just like no human is the same. Just because you offer the same thing someone else offers does not mean you're just like them or that you're even their competition. You have your own thing to offer. So branding is important because it tells that story for you. That way your client can choose you based on who you are and not just what you give.
I love that. I love everything you just said. So branding and photography, it's all relative to your business. We, as photographers, you don't think about it, but you kind of need a brand to survive a little bit because people need to know people end up knowing what your work style is. You could be dark and moody. You can be light and airy. You can be kind of like me where I try to stay true to color, a little bit more saturated. But the best thing about social media is it's given people, photographers, artists, logo creators, it's given everybody a platform to show their work as a massive portfolio. So, but if you were out at a gallery per se, you would now be able to see, whose artwork is whose. You can tell the Van Gogh from the Matisse. You can tell, the Rembrandt from the Renoir, for all of you art history geeks like me. And which is really, really awesome because it kind of gives you that freedom to be able to create your own palette, which with photography, photographers are artists. We just don't have a paintbrush. We have a camera and, for us black background equine photographers, we have Photoshop, and it's all become super relative. It's a great tool for everything, and branding is so close to what your photography is. And yeah, that's what I have to say about it.
Yeah, like with photography, it's like if I see a photo, I know that Maren took this or so and so took this. Like you have set yourself up to be recognizable because you've created a consistent look, which is not just with your photos, but also your brand itself. So a consistent look in your photos goes hand in hand with a consistent look in your brand because it's all cohesive. So then with your brand, you want consistent social media graphics. You want your email signature to look like your profile picture. You want everything to be consistent. You want the same color palette. You'll have a logo, a sub logo, accents that all work together, and the type and the fonts and everything else. You just want to keep that consistent across all mediums of advertisement.
And just to put a little ringer into that, when I contacted Amber about a new logo for me, she was making me sub logos and all these things, and I because I never took the time to invest in my own business, I was that doofus who literally thought, what the heck do I do with all of this? I mean, I literally asked her that. I literally was like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Which is fine. You don't have to know what to do with it.
And you know, even though I've been in this been a photographer for 15 years, because I never took the time to invest in my business this way, I didn't know. I just used the same old logo that I created for my previous 2 businesses. And yeah, I thought they were great for me, for the best, for as much as I know how to use Photoshop. But, you know, Amber just took it and batted it out of the park and just gave it so much. It just embodies so much more of what I wanted, which is what branding is, which kind of leads us
and even if you have parts of your brand or logo that you don't know what to do with, it's still there for you if you come across something that needs it. So like a good example would be if your main logo is round and big, what if you we're being a Celsius ambassador apparently.
Celsius branding.
If you have a big that's round and colorful, but you need something a little more professional for a letterhead or an invoice, that's when your sub logo comes into play, or your accents and illustrations on your social media templates. You want all your templates to look similar and cohesive, but you don't want every single template to have the same logo in the corner. So dress it up with, you know, Maren has a bee for one of her accents, so she can put a big bee in the background, and that makes it look different while still being cohesive with her brand.
Which I will say, if you invest in which we'll get into this in a couple of other points, but when you get a really good logo designer, they'll notice those little things about like bees. There's a lot of bees in my life, and Amber's the one who noticed that, and I was like, what the heck, like that, like it's little things like that that who you work with, you know, creating your brand, that's those little things that go a long way.
Yeah.
Which then leads us into our third point, the importance of consistent branding, which Amber will gladly talk about.
Yeah, so I already touched on quite a few parts of this about having consistent colors, fonts, your logo and images. Your website needs to look like your Instagram, needs to look like your Facebook, etc. They should correlate. Just like with big name brands, if you see a red bullseye, you know that's Target. So all you have to do is see a tennis shoe and a red bullseye, and you know I'm going to Target to get that tennis shoe. It's the same thing. So you want to keep consistency with your logo, with what you have to offer. If you're going to post a product, stick your logo with it, because that's going to become cohesive. So basically, if you want somebody to know for sure when they see this post, they don't have to read who posted it to know who posted it. And that's why you want your brand to be consistent. You want to be able to be recognizable and cohesive at all times.
Yeah, excellent points, especially about Target. I mean, any of those big brands, you know, Target doesn't even need to put Target, but the Target symbol.
You don't even need the words. Yep.
Like same thing with Nike and the check mark, or Adidas, like, or Ariat. We'll get into horse stuff. Ariat too, or the Parlanti tall boots. for English riders. Like you can, what the Parlanti boots are.
Yep.
It's
And
simple.
that's all you need to see in order to know where to get that product.
Yeah.
And that's
right.
because of their consistent branding.
Yeah.
So like I said, with Target, you see a red bullseye and that's where I'm going to get that product.
And that's marketing all on its own.
Yeah. And that goes back to the photography aspect as well. Knowing that photo came from that photographer.
Yeah. So like with importance of consistent photos, I touched a little bit on earlier, your presets, if you're light and airy, dark and moody, if you're true to color, you have to experiment in the beginning of your business to know what you like and what you don't like and what suits you. I tried the dark and moody, I tried the light and airy. Really, it wasn't me. I wasn't happy with it. The true to color is me because I'm a very true to me type person, and I will say things and not really hold back. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. So my photos it's kind of the same thing as who I am, which, like I said, you have to experiment with all of that. And but it essentially kind of becomes like your trademark a little bit. You have those equine photographers who are so good with the light and airy, like they're so good with it, and who they are. The ones who are dark and moody, and
yep.
I give kudos to them because I wish I could make my photos look that good in that style. I just haven't been able to, and that's okay. And
yeah, and it's because you're not as passionate about those styles,
right? And once you find out, I like that. So once you find out which one you're more passionate about, that's kind of when you start owning your brand and you start becoming your brand. And it's those little things like
you confidence.
Exactly.
Because confidence is what you need in order to, you cannot sell your product if you can't sell yourself, and you need to be confident in yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Which it kind of leads us into our next point about like finding your niche, which we have issues saying this word, niche.
I'm saying niche. I don't know.
Niche.
I'm going with niche.
All right. Amber's going to take it away about your niche, but that kind of leads us to that point on having that confidence and figuring out.
So you need to narrow it down. Yeah, you need to narrow it down. You can't be too broad. And I actually have a personal experience with this. Like I said, my business is just over a year old. And when I started my business, I was very broad. I was like, I'm just going to have.
Just ask her.
Huh?
You have good stories about it.
Good stories. I
do.
So yeah, I was like, I'm just going to make the most simple logo for myself, which was the absolute worst thing I could do. I'm trying to sell logos. Why would I give myself the most simple logo? You live and you learn, and I definitely learned from that. So
matters.
I was marketing to everyone. I was like, you need this, you need that, I got it, I can do it. You name it, I got it. And it was okay, but I was not getting that much attention because I looked like everybody else. There was nothing unique about me. There was nothing that stood out about me. And I was not passionate about some of the clients I was serving because they wanted things that I'm not going to call anyone out. I'm not going to say any specific stories, but I was not passionate about what I was delivering to them. And I was not 100% happy with what I was delivering. And that's not fair to the client or myself. So about 6 months into having my business, I was like, you know what? Something's got to change. Something's got to give. I don't know what that is. All I know is that my number one passion in life has always been horses. Art comes second. And that's just how it's been. Horses and art. Mm-hmm. And, growing up, they tell you can't make money in horses or art. So what do I do with that? That was really difficult for me.
I was told that in college.
Yeah, everyone's told that. I almost didn't get my art degree because of that same exact reason. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, so here I am, an artist, and I'm like thinking about branding myself to equestrians. Like, this is going to either be like really good or really bad. But I decided to do it. I rebranded my business. I gave myself a horse in my logo. The horse in my logo is actually an outline of my personal horse. So it has a very personal touch to myself. And I started to market to equestrians more than anything else. It doesn't mean that I can't help someone who's not an equestrian, but I want to market to the people that I am passionate about helping. And with people that I can correlate with, I understand what they're going through. I understand that if I'm doing a horse design, I need to include his star or his stripe or his marking of whatever kind. If you talk to someone who's not a horse person, they probably wouldn't even second guess that. But it's important to, be able to relate to that with my client and feel passionate about it and excited about what I'm producing. So
100%.
when I finally put myself into that niche market, my business went up. I have consistent clients, I have consistent inquiries, and everything just kept going up. What'd you say?
I have this, I said, I'm one of them, one of those consistent clients and inquiries. Anytime she posts something new, like literally the quote is add it to my list, because I just have a list of things that I want to buy from her and that I want her to do for me. But
Maren's
also,
list is about
it's
this
long.
long.
But like when she's so talented, and and also side note to that, my boyfriend reached out to her to do a rebrand on his used car sales business. So when it was so easy to work with her the first time, and he saw that, he was like, yeah, want to have a go at making a car logo?
Yeah, which is a perfect example of, even though I'm in this niche market, it doesn't mean I can't help people outside of it. And actually being able to niche myself into the equine community brought me that client through an equestrian.
It's great. It's all relative. It's
all relative. That's crazy. That's the tagline of this whole video. Yeah, it's all relative.
It is. And I was the typical, started out, shooting or taking photos of families. And I realized I like horses more than people. And I just wasn't.
I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah. And I just wasn't passionate about taking photos of families and weddings and stuff like that. Was I good at it? Yeah, I made a pretty good living at it, but it didn't bring me joy. I was dreading working on the weekends, dreading it. And it just.
Yeah, which isn't fair.
Right. And niching down, you think it's not going to bring you more business, but it does. It does.
Yeah, because again, that's another thing that brings in confidence, because you are excited about what you're producing and you're passionate about it. And if you're trying to produce something that you're not passionate about, then you're not going to give it 100%, even if you think that you can try to. There's just no way to give 100% to something that does not bring you joy.
Oh, absolutely.
So, if you start narrowing it down to the things that do bring you joy, then not only are you creating something that makes you happy, but you're providing a 110% of yourself to your client instead of just 80 or 90%, because your client deserves 100%.
Yep. 100% true to that. Where are we?
Our next point is investing in your business, and that is all you.
I love this one. Because, as I said before, I never invested in my business until I reached out to Amber and was like, hey, I need a new logo. Did I want to spend the money? Absolutely not. But I was so excited with the end results, because I feel like it finally gave my brand a voice. And she'll tell you that once I started using the new logo, my whole Instagram feed changed, because it just gave me the confidence for who I am, for what my business is, my whole business's identity, which was actually a really exciting thing. And it made me excited about my job again.
Yeah, and if you want to take away homework from this video, I would say that your homework is to go to Buckin Good Media's Instagram page and look at when she posted her rebrand and look at the difference of everything above that.
I love you so much. But if it wasn't for her, honestly, I would still be like a fish out of water, because that's what I felt like. And And it's scary to invest in that, to put money back into your business, because you want to, I get it, you want to make money with your business, but the only way you're going to keep making money is if you keep putting money back in, which sounds backwards, but it's true. You have to keep investing in yourself, in your education, in your brand, in your, if you're a photographer, in your, in what kind of cameras you have, you know, and what kind of computers you have. You have to invest in all of that in order to get better and to grow. And
yeah, there's actually this really funny quote that says, in order to become a millionaire in horses is to start with $1 million. So, I mean, you have to put money into your business in order to get money out of your business.
You do. And it feels at first, you know, it's hard to pull that trigger. I mean, it was hard to pull that trigger when you sent me your invoice. I was like, okay, like, is this worth it? Yes. And I literally had to pep talk myself and say, yes, it is. Like, you need to do this. This is step one in investing in yourself. And I don't regret spending that money. Like 100%, I don't regret it. But not only did I not regret spending that money, I have developed a good relationship with someone. But on our little consultation call, like, we were able to like kind of trust each other and banter back and forth a little bit, because I trusted with everything that she said, and she made me feel comfortable, which when you reach out to a good logo designer, that's what you want, someone to help with your brand. You want someone to help you.
Yeah. And it's our job as designers to take the burden off of you. So if you are feeling overwhelmed and you have no idea where to begin, that's okay, because that's our job.
It is your job, and you do a great job at it. Where are we? Have a plan for your brand.
Yes. So it's good to know things you really want to share about yourself within your brand, because it's not just about your business, it's about you as a person. And it's also about the impression that you want to make, the clients and audience that you want to serve. And if you don't know, like I just said, that's okay. That's your designer's job. I have questionnaires. I have ways to communicate with you that tell me about you as a person, about you as an equestrian, about you as a business owner, whether it's a new business or an older business that you're rebranding. I have all the tools I need to know exactly what you need in your brand, whether you have an idea or not. So you don't have to have a plan per se right out the gate, but I'm going to help you create that plan if you don't have one, or whichever designer you go with. You want to make sure you're comfortable with your designer, because you're relying on them. It's like I always tell people when they're scared to give me feedback. This is not my logo. This is your logo. I'm creating it, but it's yours. It's yours. If there's any part of it that you're uncomfortable with, or that you don't like, or that, you know, feedback is everything. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I need to know if we need changes. But I also pride myself on getting to know my client on a deeper level, because 9 times out of 10, I hit it out of the park on the first go. They have no changes because I have spent the time getting to know them, what they need, what they want, etc. So make sure that you're comfortable with your designer on that level. That way you can have the proper plan for your brand.
Very, very important to do. As a photographer too, you know, develop a relationship with your client. It never hurts. Half the time, honestly, I end up being friends with my clients. And my clients know that I love pierogies and queso. And they always tell me where to find the best Mexican restaurant, because they got queso margaritas there. And honestly, it's little things like that that kind of make you so happy. You know, like if you're visiting a town on vacation or something, and your client knows that you're there, and they'll text you, be like, hey, go to this restaurant. They got really, really good homemade pierogies. They're probably not as good as the ones that I make at home, but they're probably good enough to eat on vacation.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good example about being yourself, because And you'll see, I mean, I'm not telling you guys to go back to when I rebranded, but when I can see in my like my memories on Facebook, the things that I shared from my business, it was so robotic. So robotic. And I'm like embarrassed that I posted that a year ago. And I'm like, who was that? Because it wasn't me. It was a robot. So yeah, it's so important to be yourself. And you don't have to, Google the next best caption for your Instagram post. Just whatever is on your heart, just say it.
Just babble.
Just
That's
say
what I
it.
do.
Yeah, she does.
No, I do. Like literally go through and read my stuff because this mind just goes and goes. And
So that's why we love her.
I try to reel it in. Sometimes it just doesn't always work, which kind of leads us into being yourself / finding yourself in your business.
I'm pretty sure that that's what we just talked about.
Which, yes, like but that's literally it.
Yeah.
What photographers, equestrian entrepreneurs come to me for help on finding themselves in their business. And the first thing I ask them is go out and ask people to describe your work in 3 words.
I love that.
And you will be surprised what people say in a good way, because you can get 5 people and 4 of them will say the same word, and it's a word that you probably never even thought of.
Yeah.
And you can use those words for your brand. And and a lot of times we're afraid of sounding different. Growing up, you kind of get told, don't be different, don't be weird. Well, you know what? I'm weird as heck. And I was lucky enough that my parents raised me to embrace my weirdness. I'm named after an actress from Battlestar Galactica. So we'll just start there. And the weirdness is there, and it wasn't until my rebrand with Amber that like I am fully embraced my weirdness. I fully embraced the moment I love dipping a chip in fresh queso. Like the fact that I would rather listen to classic rock music than rap. Like it's little things like that people remember you by. And
Yep.
So don't be afraid to be that fish out of water, because you being different is what is going to set you apart, and you need to embrace that. And it's hard. Absolutely. But the more you babble on in your posts and like put more of you in your posts, the more comfortable you'll get with it.
And it all comes back to confidence.
Yes.
Because
you do it, you'll become more confident.
And your audience can feel that. Your audience can tell if you're not super confident in, what you're posting. Like, is she really sure about what she's saying? Like you boast confidence when you have it. Yeah. And that's what clients seek.
It's true. Fake it till you make it. You can fake that confidence for your first few posts and until you really feel ready to be confident. The first step is just doing it, which is always the hardest part. Taking that leap and just being like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Who cares what other people think? And really, who cares what other people think? If it's right to you and you feel like it's right for your brand, then just do it.
Well, that actually, brings up a really good point that we haven't even talked about, is that if you are uncomfortable with a client, you do not have to serve them.
Love it.
You don't have to pick somebody up just because it equals dollar signs. If it's going to hurt you in some way, emotionally, physically, financially, if it's going to put any sort of damper on your business, you do not have to work with that person. So, having confidence also means knowing when to say no. And it's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. Which kind of leads us into connecting and being social on social media a little bit. So social media is kind of like a free platform for marketing. So, which means you're marketing so Instagram has 1 billion monthly users. You're not going to reach
A
a
lot.
billion users, but that's free marketing. You can reach so many people. So you might reach someone that you don't really want to work with. They're giving you a hard time on your pricing. You know, they book you and they want light and airy, but you're dark and moody. Okay, well, they know your work. They see your work. You can say no. It doesn't mean you're any less of a business person or any less of a photographer, but that's having the confidence in yourself. And I guarantee that 9 times out of 10, you're going to find those clients, that your ideal clients, after you say no to the client that you don't want. That's generally how it's worked for me.
Yep, for sure. And another thing about, you know, social media is to show up for the audience that you have, not just the audience you want, because your audience is going to be able to tell if you give a crap. Honestly, you know, putting it bluntly, you need to communicate with your followers. You need to react to what they're saying. Make sure you respond to their comments.
Yeah.
Like some things in their feed, pay attention to their feed, follow some people that you might not have considered following before, because creating relationships with the audience you have is what's going to grow into the audience you want. So in conclusion, show up for the audience you have and not the audience that you are waiting for.
Yeah, so social media is about like being social. That's why it was created. It was to socialize with others around the world. So, you know, each day you should try and interact with, you know, people that follow you or accounts that are like yours, that have way more followers, you know, comment on their videos, respond to some of their comments from other people. And that helps you grow, but it also kind of gives you the confidence to, you know, put yourself out there, for lack of a better word. You know, it's like putting yourself out there, but just on social media. So it's the same thing as, you know, writing a little caption for your own posts.
Yeah.
And, you know, and as Amber said, when you show for the audience that you have, it allows room for growth, which is kind of cool, because thinking again, talking back to finding your niche, you know, you think that focusing on, you know, 2-3 points within your niche isn't going to allow you to grow, but it does. It does the opposite. Whoops, my screen just took a poop. And sorry, a little vulgar.
Okay, I have a fly attacking me, so.
Oh my God, there's one here that won't die. I was like,
you're over there talking and I'm like, swatting.
So funny. And so, yeah, it's just, you know, social media is just, it's free marketing. And people think that because social media is so big now that it doesn't do much for your business. Well, that's the complete opposite. It's free marketing, which is pretty amazing. So you're not going to probably blow up overnight on social media, and that's fine. You know, your reel or your TikTok might not blow up. Although I did have I had a TikTok that kind of went viral. It went to like 10K views overnight, and I woke up and I was like, what is this? I must be cool now. I made it into the TikTok world.
You're up there.
Here I am. But, you know, it allows you to connect with other users like you, which that was the whole point of why social media, that's the whole point of Facebook. Like if you've watched The Social Network, that Facebook, or the Facebook as it was called back then, was created to connect you within people on your college campus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's cool that it's evolved into all this now. I mean, look at us. Yeah. You're in Michigan, I'm in New York.
I mean, me and Maren, we met on Instagram and we found each other organically.
Yeah, because I was a weirdo and I reached out to her and started commenting on all of her things, and she was probably thinking, who's this crazy person? And
well, okay, so here's a really good example. I posted not about Maren being crazy. That's just, it is what it is.
I mean, yeah.
I posted a reel a couple weeks ago about how you can be a successful mom, a successful horsewoman, and a successful entrepreneur all at once. And it didn't get that much attention, but there was a good amount of comments. And when I say good amount, I'm talking like 5, which were women
That's
who didn't have the confidence to think that they could do all 3 successfully. And one of those women ended up being one of my clients. She did a whole brand with me. So, just because you don't get that much attention on something that you hoped would blow up overnight.
Pause. I gotta go get the dog.
Okay. Just because you don't get that much, attention on something you were hoping would blow up does not mean you're not going to reach out to the people who are important. So again, I got maybe 5 comments on that video, and one of them ended up being a really special client. So it's super important to show up for who the audience you already have in order to, gain those relationships.
Okay, so, which then brings us into, my hair is just crazy today, which brings us into it's very humid here, brings us into the next point on colleagues over competition.
Boom.
We are both super supportive, passionate about this part.
Yes.
It's a must in any industry. Equine photographers, we're all trying to do the same thing. Essentially, we like horses and we want to be the best photographer that we can be. We want to have the best brand that we can, everything like that. But one thing you have to know is there is enough room for success in the world for all of us. There's enough money in this world for all of us.
Yeah.
It's, and supporting another business that's just like yours does not take away business from you. It 100%,
no, if anything,
that's not
if anything, it brings business to you, because what if that business is booked? What if they have a client that needs something on this timeline?
Mm-hmm.
What if they have a client that wants this style and you can't provide it for whatever reason? Those colleagues are going to send those clients to you. I've had it happen before. Maren's had it happen before. It's not competition. And if you look at it that way, you're going to drown in this industry.
Yeah, you're going to be alone. Actually.
Yeah.
And it's, not to put it bluntly, but you will be kind of alone, and it's a sad place to be, because, I feel like social media makes you look at other businesses that are like yours and you're like, oh, I wish I had that much success, or I wish I was doing what they're doing. Well, remember that social media is a highlight reel, and some of these people aren't as busy as social media makes it seem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I have people tell me all the time, oh my gosh, it looks like you're doing so well. There are weeks where I go without a session, but then there's a week where I have like 4 sessions in a week and I'm losing my marbles.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make you any less of a photographer or any less of a business person either.
No,
it doesn't. And, so, and if you want content, reach out to someone like to a business like you. Like I've reached out to Amber. I'm like, what do you think about this? Like, what if I did this with my business?
Yeah. And not only that, like, even if you don't want to reach out, you can still get inspiration from those pages. That does not mean copy them. No copying allowed. Mm-hmm. But you can get inspiration from them.
Yes, the inspiration copying. Yes.
No copying. I save, a good example is Farm and Fur Co. They offer the same thing I do. I save almost every post that they post because I'm just so excited about what they have to offer. And it's just exciting. I'm more excited about their posts than I would ever be, feel offended by.
Fangirl.
I'm a fangirl.
Fangirl.
Yeah. I mean, another really good example, like in the most updated example I can think of, Centerline Candles and Interest Candle are both candle makers in the equestrian entrepreneur community. They just did a collab together. Like they just did a bundle and collabed, and they're sharing each other's stuff and doing bundles with their own products, and they are direct competition, but they are using that in a positive way instead of a negative one. I love that.
Yeah. And
Shout out.
it's like, and that's probably the most perfect example.
Yeah.
Is-
I mean, yeah.
yeah. And
Same with giveaways, giveaways
oh yeah,
where a bunch of, equestrian
well, that's
people
kind of
will
how
jump on.
you and I got kind of, I guess, talking closer to
Yeah.
talk, because you were doing a giveaway and I was like, I'm gonna hop on that.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, that was with my previous business name. And then like a week before she went to go launch her giveaway, I was like, hey, I'm rebranding.
Like, hey, now that I know you, maybe we should talk about branding my business.
I felt bad because I thought it was going to screw up your giveaway. And actually, luckily, it didn't. And then lo and behold, I asked her to do my new logo. So it all kind of worked out. But
yeah.
That's, but that's how it is, like Amber has a quote here, which is perfect. Behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. And it's true.
Yes.
It is true.
Horse girls supporting horse girls.
Yes. Because you know what?
Like drop.
The horse world gets some flack for mean girls.
Which are still out there.
You get the mean girls at the barn. You get mean girls at horse shows. You get the mean girls from trainers. You get mean girls from social media. But the more you ignore them and the more you go to support others, that positive community just grows by tenfold.
I can't even explain the amount of amazing people I have met just by becoming part of this community.
Yeah.
I mean, a year ago, I did not have half of the people in my life that I have today that I've never even met in person, that I know that I could count on in a heartbeat. Like if I needed something from Maren, I know that she would actually show up. And I haven't even met her in person yet.
Which kind of goes to show that, which I think we've all heard bits and pieces of, your online community generally supports you more than the people in your own life. Which is so sad.
It is sad.
Because I've never even met Amber in person. But it's true. There are people who I've known for 20 years who want me to fail. And then there's Amber, who I've known for like 3 months, who is like, yes, girl, go do it, get it, high five, woo. And like, yeah, and it's crazy. And you know what, those positive people, whether they're on the computer or they're not, or they're right next to you, like those are the people that you hold on to.
Yeah.
And that positive community, that supportive community literally just grows around you.
Yeah.
And it's quite a wonderful thing, I have to say.
I mean, yeah, I get excited. I get excited to post something new because I know that the community that I've already become a part of is going to react in a positive way. Obviously I care about growing, but I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on where I'm at right now. And that's how you grow.
Yeah. Yeah. You focus on your task at hand today, and you conquer today. That's one of my favorite quotes. There's like this little thing flying around my face right now. So yeah, you conquer today. Don't worry about the past, and don't get anxious about the future. Be present today. Conquer today. I'm a huge mindfulness person. Side note, my dad died 7 months ago, almost 8 months ago now, and he died from cancer, and it was a very depressing thing watching him just deteriorate. So practicing mindfulness really has helped me a lot, and it's helped me more in my business than probably anything else, because it's made me become present in my business and mindful of what I post, of who I am in my business. And it's something that I guess you kind of you think it would have more of an effect on my life outside of my business, but I've struggled with confidence in my business. Might not look like it because this is who I am, but
I'm sure we all
I really
have.
am. Right.
Yeah.
Because when you're starting out, you think, well, how can I be like so and so? They have such a good following. But once you throw that towel out the window and you start focusing on yourself and you're like, who am I? That's when you start soaring. And that's when you start noticing the little things that make you successful with your business.
Yeah.
Which is
something that goes hand in hand with that also is making time for yourself outside of your business, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And something that actually Krista, Books with Krista,
love her page.
She just recently posted about this, is that the whole reason we are in this industry is because of horses. So make time with your horse. Go spend time with your horse. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot be a part of the equestrian community without actually going back to what brought you here. Go outside and spend time with your horse. Give yourself, you don't even have to ride. I mean, just spend time with them. And if there's something else that you enjoy, reading a book, going on a hike, sitting in your backyard and meditating, whatever it is, just do that.
I love meditating.
Yes, it's great.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like for me, I get up in the mornings, I work out. I'm not like an obsessive, hey, I work out every day. But I've learned since my dad passed that the first thing I have to do to feel better about myself and about my day is to like get on my bike, do yoga, meditate, something. I have to move.
Yeah.
And that's what sets the tone for my day. And, some people it's, waking up slowly with a cup of coffee. I ain't that person.
Like for me, I'm fortunate enough to have my horses on my property. So I get up before my kid does, and I go outside and I spend as much time out there, feeding the farm, doing chores, just loving on my horses until, my kid wakes up. What's that?
That's therapy all on its own.
Yeah. And that sets the tone for the day. It does every time. Like, even if I wake up in a bad mood or if I had a bad dream, I have to go outside regardless. And when I get out there, it sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Yeah, for sure. And it's little things like that you notice that help you feel like centered within yourself and within your business.
Yeah.
It's noticing those little things, when some of my mentorship clients, I tell them you have to notice the little things. So one of their homeworks for the week is, I'll text them and I'll say like, all right, it's 11 o'clock. What are 3 things that you notice right now that are giving you peace? It can be as little as like they are drinking their coffee. Their newborn is down for a nap. They just got off the phone with with the internet company, and the lady was nice on the phone and not mean. It's those little things that you just take advantage of and that you realize that kind of sets you and centers you. And those are the things that you kind of have to attend to make you feel better, like in your business, getting like with Amber and her one video that got the 5 comments. It's those, and that video might not have gone viral, but those 5 comments made her feel better than going viral.
Yes.
Because it's like she made a difference.
Yeah. And when you stepped away, I had said that one of the women that commented on that video ended up becoming a really good client of mine.
There you go.
Yeah. So it all, it's all relative.
It's all relative.
It all comes back to all being relative.
All relative.
Yes.
It's all full circle. Perfect. Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah,
we nailed everything.
I think we did.
All fun. If you guys have any questions, reach out, because I'm an open book, and I know Amber loves to talk about passionate things with people. So
kind of what I do. It's kind of what I do for a living. I have to, I have to kind of dig into you a little bit in order to produce what you need.
Whereas me with my ADHD brain, I just say things and people are like, oh my God, that's a lot, but like, thanks. And
So
I'm
if
like, yeah, you're welcome.
if you
Something
need
else?
like deep self-reflection, I'm your girl. But if you need like blunt honesty, Maren's your girl.
Hence why we have created this little space for you all, because like, okay, side note, I'm an Aries, so I'm very stubborn and impulsive. Amber's a Pisces. She's just like my mother, and I love my mother. Calm, takes her time, dives deep into things,
Very emotional.
and just the mesh together is just, it balances each other out.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we never claim to be, crazy professionals. We're just having a good time and helping people along the way.
I actually love it. I love sharing my knowledge with people. I genuinely do.
I mean, if one person gets something out of this, then we did our job. Maren froze.
Again, reach out if you guys have any questions. I think we're gonna try and do this live thing maybe like once a month. I just put that idea out there.
We're gonna make sure that we have good service when we do it.
Yes, better than the last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, reach out if you have any questions, and like, I'm an open book. If you want, so if you don't want the bluntness, go to Amber. I'm nice about it though. It's not that I'm blunt and mean. I don't know. I like to talk, obviously.
Mhm.
But yeah. All right. Well, that's settled. All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye. Maren froze. Maren is frozen. This is going to be part of the bloopers. I'm taking a picture. This is hilarious.
Were you able to save that?
Oh,
did you hear that? Hang on. Maybe we can cut this part out.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
Yeah. Okay. What are we talking about?
Can you hear me now?
Weird. Which then brings us into one that we both are very passionate about.
Can you start over?